17 months ago, I had no idea how to run a business. I saw everyone else online doing it, but for me it felt too unnatural and a dream way too far out. That would be way too complicated to reach. But today, 17 months later, I run a successful online marketing agency and a coaching business where I spend all of my time working with amazing clients from all over the world. In this video, I'll break down exactly how I did it in 5 simple steps that you can go out and implement yourself starting from complete zero. And you can actually go out and implement these things if you watch this video till the end. Step number 1 is your niche and your offer. Before you do anything else, you need to know who you help and how you help them. So the way you're gonna find your niche is you're gonna sit down with a piece of paper and you're gonna write 5 interests that you have. This could be health, fitness, it could be business, it could be travel, it could be whatever. When you've found these 5 things, you write them down on a paper and you make sure that you're explaining to yourself why exactly you have these different interests and how it would work if you were to work with them. When you found these 5 interests that you have, you're gonna go to a social platform. It could be Instagram, it could be TikTok, it could be LinkedIn, it could be whatever. And then you're gonna search up these 5 different interests. This is what is called your niche, the people that you work with and the people that you help. This could example be a fitness coach or a business coach. It could be mindset coach. It could be a lot of different things. For instance, it could also be hotels, it could be real estate brokers, it could be restaurants, it could be salons, it could be a lot of different things, but most important is that you find a niche and a group of people that you actually find interesting what it is that they're doing, because you need to spend a lot of time working with this group of people, so it's also important that you find it somehow interesting. When you found them on your social platform, starting from top to bottom, then you're gonna find out, is there actually a market for this? Can you find a group of hotels or fitness coaches or real estate brokers where you feel like there is some kind of need here for you to help them? Is there a gap in their marketing? Is there a gap in the way that they're doing their content on social media? Is there a way here where you feel like I could actually come in and help them? From my own expertise, you're probably gonna be left with around 2 to 3 left on your list of 5. So what you're gonna do from here when you're left with your last 2 or 3 niches, you're gonna sit yourself down and then you're gonna choose either 1 or 2 to start with. You don't have to go completely all in my opinion, on one single niche. You can if that's what you want to do, but if you're a bit unsure about if you should go with this niche or the other niche, try both. What I did in the beginning was that I tried every single online coach out there and just reach out to them. I tried to see where is there a market for the things that I'm providing and who is the people that I do enjoy working with the most or speaking with the most. I tried a lot of different niches. I reached out to a bunch of different ones, and then I found out where my personal interest was highest and where I personally found the most joy in speaking with the people and also caring about their business and their offers. So if we were to take myself as an example, in the beginning, I worked with female business coaches, and now I work with a completely different niche, still in the online coaching space, and I do also work with different businesses than online coaches. So it's just important for me to say that choosing your niche is not a decision where you choose it once and then you can't go back and change it. You can change it as many times as you want, but it's just important that you know where to aim in the beginning and where to put your focus. So go out on social platforms, research and find out which people you do enjoy talking with the most. Research everything you can about them, write a tons of notes, and then find out where it sticks for you and which 1 or 2 niches that you want to try out in the beginning and go with. When you found your niche, and let's say you for instance choose to go with fitness coaches, then you need to do your research. Because what you then have to do is that you have to go out and do what's called a market research exercise. This means that you're researching the market for any problems that could be in these fitness coaches' businesses. You found out what they do enjoy about their work, what they don't enjoy about their work, and where you could potentially come in and fill that gap between the things that they do enjoy and the things that they don't enjoy. And to give you a little hint, mostly of the fitness coaches and the online businesses don't enjoy the marketing part, and that's where you come in. So research, and after you've researched and gotten a lot of answers from a lot of different people in your niche, you have to go out and build your offer. This means that you have to decide which services you want to provide. This could be content, this could be websites, this could be landing pages, email marketing, ads. It could be whatever marketing you do want to enjoy. It could be whatever marketing that you enjoy doing and you maybe want to learn a bit more about and try out. And don't be afraid if you don't have any experience at the moment sitting and watching this video. This is a step-by-step guide for complete beginners starting from zero. This is how I did it, and this is how I teach all of my students to do it as well. If you're in doubt about how these processes usually look, go in and follow me on Instagram, where I share content about this every single day. And when you found the services that you want to provide for your clients, you sit yourself down and you put these things together. You make an offer, and you make an offer where all of these services are included. That's solving a problem for your clients. And that problem you know because you did your market research exercise. If you do all of these things in step one, I assure you that you're gonna be in a way better position with both your niche and your offer after doing these things. Step number two, finding clients and contacting leads. Now that you know what you're selling, let's talk about how you can sign your first or next client. There's two ways to go out and sign clients. The first one is organic cold outbounds, and the second one is paid marketing. And if you're just starting out, you should probably, in my opinion, go with the first one, which is organic cold outbounds. Maybe you've heard this term before, or maybe it's completely new to you, but either way, the way that you're going to do this is that you're going to sit down, craft a message that is including the pain points that you know that your niche is struggling with from step one, where you did your market research. After that, you take all of your information, craft it into a good message, and then you make sure to personalize it to your specific niche, your specific way of speaking, texting, and include a lot of personality, because a lot of these businesses, they get cold messages every single day. So it's important that you include a personal twist to it so people actually want to open your message and reply to it. When you have your message that's both including a pain point, a problem you can solve, maybe a little compliment, that's what I personally think is really good to include and what I have seen a lot of success with. There's not a single person that don't like a compliment, so you can include that if you want to increase your reply rate a bit more. And then lastly, you want to include a question that they can answer simple and is related to whatever you're offering. When you have your message, you're going to choose a platform that you want to send this message on. This could again be, for example, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook. It could be a lot of different ways. You could also even do email or pick up the phone and call people. But most importantly is that you have your message, you have your platform, and you have your group of people that you want to reach out to and send this message to on your chosen platform. So let's say you have your message. What you're then going to do is that you have to go out and find 100 leads within your niche. This is just an example, but this is what you could preferably do. When you found your 100 leads, you have to list them in a spreadsheet so you have a visual overview of them. What you're then going to do is that you have them in your spreadsheet, and now you're going to reach out to them one by one with your message. So let's say you have your fitness coach on Instagram, you have 100 of them listed in a spreadsheet. You're going to start from the top all the way to the bottom, and then you're going to go in on this fitness coach's Instagram, send your message, including a little personal touch and a little touch that's related to their profile, so they also feel like you actually took your time to craft this good message, and it's personal and it's personalized exactly for them. When you've sent your message, you go on to the next one, the next one, the next one, and the next one, and then you basically just have to sit and wait to get replies. And now I'm gonna give you a little tip on cold outreaches, because it's not an easy game. It's very tough both mentally, but it's also going to take a lot of time, and you have to be willing to put in this time and effort, but it is the number one thing that's going to move your business in the right direction. Outreaches is a numbers game. You have to send as many as possible in order for you to be able to take decisions based off whether it's a good message or a bad message. When you've sent enough and you're ready to take a decision based off your numbers and your data, you can then afterwards take a decision whether you need to change the message, choose a different niche, or maybe a whole third thing. But hear me out on this one, because you don't want to jump to conclusions like this. You want to make sure that you give it enough time, you try out for a long enough period of time with this niche and this message in order for you to be able to take a decision whether it's bad or it's good. The way I got my first client is that I sat down, had my niche, had my message, I sent out a bunch of messages on Instagram, I sent out 100 messages every single day for the first 3.5 months before I even got one single paying client. It was a total of a little over 11,000 messages I sent out in order for me to get my first client. So make sure to be patient. I stuck to the same niche, I stuck to the same message for 3.5 months. After that, I took a decision whether I had to continue with my current message and my current niche, or I had to change it. So be patient, because this is going to take a long time, but if you're patient enough, you are going to sign clients without a doubt. I got my first client with a simple outreach message that I also sent to a bunch of different people, but what stood out to her was that the message was tailored to her, it was personalized, and there was also a little compliment hidden inside the message. Outreaches is not rocket science, and you don't have to invent the wheel twice. You basically just have to follow this simple method in order for you to be able to convert your first message to your first paying client. So if you're serious about growing your agency, or maybe even just starting one out, then make sure to follow me on Instagram and send me a message, and then I'll be more than happy to help you out with this. Step 3, delivering a service that keeps clients paying you. Most agencies fail because they focus too much on sales and getting in new clients over and over and over again, and focusing too little on getting results for the current ones they already have. Don't get me wrong, it's a good thing to go out and get new clients, but most importantly is building good relationships with the clients you do already have and do already pay you. So you basically want to become an irreplaceable agency for your clients. You need to have such a valuable service and such a valuable offer that makes your clients not want to replace you, because your offer and your service keeps on delivering over and over and over and over again. This also means that in order for you to keep your paying clients, they need to have a bigger return on investment than they're paying you. So let's say they're paying you $2,000 a month, they need to at least be making more than that in order for it to make sense to keep you. So the reason why service delivery and client retention is more important than lead gen is because imagine having 5 or 10 clients that absolutely loves your service, loves the results you're generating, and just love the offering that you have and the way that you are as an agency owner. Having 5 to 10 loyal clients means so much more than having to go out and chase new clients every single month. That way, as a self-employed, you never really know what's coming into the bank account the next month. But this way, having loyal clients so you know what's coming in, having longer deals with them, that could be 3, 6, or even 12 months. That's going to make you not want to chase new clients all the time, because you have a sustainable, good foundation of great clients that are happy to pay you because you're generating such good results. And I tell you from experience, it's much more fun to work with a group of good clients that are loyal, that loves your service and you as a person, than having to go out and chase new leads every single month. So use your time and energy on building a really good, strong offer, keeping your clients happy, over delivering and under promising your service. Under promising and over delivering your service, that way you will never be without clients. An example of a good service delivery, in my opinion, is making sure that you're covering the pain points that you know your client are struggling with. You have a clear vision and goal for them, and working with them from their current situation and making sure that they're achieving their desired situation within a relatively good and realistic time frame. This means that you also have to have a slight foot within their business, have enough responsibilities and covering enough pain points, so that way your client knows that they can't be without you and your agency, because the service that you're delivering is also perfectly what they need. Step 4, sales skills and closing good and high ticket clients. The difference between being stuck in your business and running a good and profitable and healthy agency is sales. And you might have a bit of a toxic relationship to sales. That's at least what I see really often, because a misunderstanding of sales is that it usually gets directly correlated to being too pushy or too much, which is exactly what we don't want to be in sales, because sales is basically just a conversation. Sales is a conversation between you and the person that you want to help, because sales is not you and your potential clients sitting on your own side of the tables and arguing over finding a problem in the middle of the table. Sales is you being on the same side of the table as the client, and you and the potential client wanting to find a solution to the problem together. And your job is to find a solution to that problem with your client. That is some solution that your client feels like is the exact thing that they're sitting and needing right now in their current situation. Your job is to understand the client, finding their current situation and their desired situation and what's holding them back from getting there. That gap in between their current state and their desired state is where you as the agency come in and close that gap in order for them to be able to move on in their business and achieve the new goals that they have. Sales has never been about being pushy, and if you see sales that way, make sure to follow me along on my Instagram profile, because then I'll show you that sales is not about being pushy. Sales is pure communication and understanding the other person and their needs. So the way I learned this was that I just made sure that every time I spoke with a new lead on a call, I made sure to deeply and emotionally put myself in their shoes, in their current situation, to understand the problems that they're facing and the desires that they have. And then I knew deep down that I had the solution that they needed in order for them to achieve that goal. But if you can emotionally put yourself in the shoes of your potential client to see the struggles and understanding their situation on a deeper level, you will without a doubt close the sale if you also are great at communication, have a great offer, and know your niche. The way my sales process look, and the way that my sales process also look for my students and the people I work with, is that you always start with some sort of outbound. And this was what we went over in step number 2, because having a good offer, having a good message, and knowing your niche can get you a long way. Once you've gotten a reply from your niche, you have to make sure you provide enough value in the DMs so they want to jump on a call with you, because if there's no reason for them to jump on a call, why should they take 30 minutes out of their calendar to talk with you when they don't really know what they're going to get out of it? So make sure that they know that they're going to get something out of speaking with you and taking out 30 minutes to speak with a random girl or guy sitting on the other side of the screen. So once you've provided enough value in the DMs, the lead now feels like they have a bigger reason to jump on a call with you and take out time of their day. Once you're then on the call with them, you need to structure it in 2 different ways. First call is a discovery call. This is what I typically call an if call, to find out if you're a fit to work together later down the line. This is where you discover if you can help your client and discover all of their problems, their current ways of doing things, and maybe also their goals and their struggles. The second call is the sales call, and this is what I call the how call. This is where you're going to show the client and tell the client how you can help them. On the first call, you found out if you were a fit, and if they make it to the next call, and if you feel like you're a fit to work together and the client also feels like it's a fit, then you take them along to the how call, which is the sales call. Here's where you present a solution on how you can help the client. This is where you take them over your offer, the different ways of your service to be delivered, and the different things that you're providing your client. This is where you, for example, mention you have content that you offer, you have websites that you offer, and you have maybe even funnels that you offer. This is where you get to shine and get to explain the best way possible and really nail it, so the client feels like this is exactly what I need, let's move on, I'm ready to pay you. So this is where your sales come into handy. And that was just a brief example of a simple sales process. I have personally taken over 300 sales calls the last 1.5 years, and I know this process to the bone. So when I say listen to the client, I mean listen to the client. You're not gonna regret it, I promise you. Understanding the other person on the other side of the screen, their needs and where they wanna go, will get you a lot further than any sales script and any framework will do. Sales is about pure communication, so if you're good at communication, you will most likely also be good at having calls that converts into paying clients. Step 5, and the last one, scaling, building systems, and growing beyond $10,000 a month. Once you've landed clients and refined your service, it's time to scale your business. This includes automating tasks, getting a team, and delegating services that you might necessarily not have to be a part of. This could, for example, be the acquisition process, which includes outreaches, as we covered in step 2, because this process is not necessarily something that you need to be a part of, neither is some other parts of your service delivery. Because you could easily go out and get teams, because what's good about scaling and acquiring a team is that you can get more hands-on to deliver a service. You only have 24 hours in the day, but if you suddenly have 2, 5, or even 10 team members, you can then suddenly push out even more hours in the day, get work done even faster, and also delivering even greater results. Because you are not necessarily an expert in all fields, and you have to be okay with that. You might not be good at both content, funnels, email marketing, ads, and graphic design. Maybe you're only good at content, which is a really good thing to be good at. And you also have to accept that it's not a bad thing to delegate tasks that you might not be the best at. Because if you're really good at content and copywriting, another person might be even better at the graphic design or building the funnels that converts. So at this stage in your business where you've scaled, it's time to go out and find really talented people that are good in the different areas that you need help with. It's always good to be multiple hands on a case, because you can deliver greater results, push in more hours into the work, and your client might also get a better experience with working with your agency, because they're now getting multiple eyes on their case, which sometimes also can be a really good thing. This means that you can now automate onboarding processes, outbound strategies, and maybe also the service delivery, which is going to free up more of your time that you can use on scaling your own business. And also making sure that you can now take in more clients at once, because you have more automated processes, so you don't have to sit manually and do everything. As I said again, we only have 24 hours in the day. We need to use them the most efficient way as possible. In the beginning of running your agency, you can really easily feel like just a freelancer if, let's say, you're only delivering content and you're being a one-man army, pushing all of these hours in and delivering all of these services yourself. It can feel like a freelancer job, but when you go out and hire a full team and becoming a full stack agency like this video is about, then you can actually charge even higher prices, because you're taking care of all systems, all processes in your clients' businesses. This means that you're the only agency that they need in order to scale, which also means that they're willing to pay you high ticket prices to work with you, because you're taking care of so much and solving so many problems. And again, the more problems you're solving equals the higher invoices you can send to your clients. Going from being a freelancer and a one-man army to having a full stack agency with maybe multiple employees or freelancers that you're using is not an easy process. It's also important for me to say that this only comes a bit further down the line. You should start with becoming comfortable and confident in offering a handful of services and becoming really good at delivering those services. And then you can go out and outsource it when you're maybe getting capped because you don't have any more hours in the day, or you may be getting too heavy of a workload on your shoulders. Then it's time to go out and outsource. If you have any questions about this, feel free to send me a DM over Instagram, and I will be more than happy to guide you on this and when the right time is to go out and hire. And just a little side note, it doesn't have to be expensive to hire. There's multiple very good ways to do this, so you don't have to pay full-time salaries to all the people that you get help from. This was everything for this video. If you want me to help you personally, step by step, building your full stack agency from complete zero, send me a message on Instagram for more info. Or if you have any questions about how this might be able to work within your own business that you're currently running, feel free to also send me a message. Thank you so much for watching and staying until now. If this video was helpful, feel free to give it a like, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Take care until I see you again. Bye.